Tom Girardi, the husband of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne, has been indicted by the federal government for fraud, being indicted for the shady business practices and the shady business he was running as an attorney. Now, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock or you didn't watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne, one of the cast members on the show, lived the life of luxury. I'm talking private jets. I'm talking the best of the best. I'm talking $20,000 to $50,000 a month on a glam squad. Spending so much money, excessive amounts of money, that one would probably look at and say, an attorney makes that much money? Well, it's all catching up to him now. It came out a couple years ago what he was actually doing. Why he's just now being indicted, I do not know. What took y'all so long to do this indictment? We've known this man has stolen money from airplane crash victims, widows, orphans of these victims and these airplane crash. We know he's stolen money from burn victims. I mean, atrocious things happen to people. And when they trusted in an attorney to get them their money, they were let down. This man was stealing their money all along, and he's finally going to pay for it. Now, some may say he's too old to be going to jail, but I mean, shit. He was been doing this fraud up until a few years ago. He wasn't too old to do that. He was scheming and frauding as early as 2018 because the Lion Air plane crash was in 2018. Or I don't know if it was the Lion Air, but there was a plane crash that he stole money from victims, and that was as early as 2018. If he was old enough to be scheming and doing that, he's old enough to take his ass and lay down in the pen. Okay? They have medical units, they have medical prisons. You need to go sit down for what you did, Tom, because this was bad. Now, this is from people.com. I'm going to give you a little rundown of what happened in case you don't know. Tom was indicted on fraud charges for allegedly stealing from the victims of a 2018 plane crash. According to court documents obtained by people.com, Tom, 83, is charged with 8 counts of wire fraud and 4 counts of criminal contempt of court by a federal grand jury in Chicago. David R. Lira, who worked for Tom at the law firm Girardi Keese, and Christopher K. Cameron, the former head of the firm's accounting and finance department, were both charged with 12 criminal counts. The trio is accused of stealing more than $3 million intended for relatives of victims killed in the crash of Lion Air Flight 610, the U.S. Attorney's Office, Northern District of Illinois, said in a press release. Now, it's just low down. It's low down. And a lot of the conversation between fans of Housewives and viewers was, did Erika Jayne know this? You know, did she know what he was doing? I don't think that she personally knew the ins and outs of what he was doing and that he was stealing from plane crash victims. I don't think she knew that, but I definitely think she knew that there was some shady business going on with her husband. She probably just didn't know what and chose to turn a blind eye to it. Because why? Because she's getting fucking $20,000 glam squads and private jets all across the world. Of course, it's easier to turn the blind eye to it. She's not going to ask her husband any questions. Tom doesn't seem like the type that would have told her. But I do think he tipped her off, and we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so Tom and Lira, who worked for Tom, Girardi, or Lira did, Tom and Lira represented 5 clients who were family members of passengers killed in that 2018 plane crash. They filed lawsuits against the plane's manufacturer, Boeing, and settled the suits in 2020, according to the press release. Tom, Lyra, and Kamen are accused of stealing more than $3 million of settlement funds for, quote, improper purposes, including paying the firm's payroll and operating expenses and funding settlements to other Girardi Keys clients. Y'all sure it was just $3 million? The way they spent money, it seemed like it was more than $3 million. The indictment alleges that they then attempted to conceal the misappropriation to their clients by blaming the COVID-19 pandemic and, quote, serious illnesses with Boeing had delayed the allocation of the funds. So Tom was telling his clients when they weren't getting their money that, oh, COVID is slowing it down, and that some people had he had some serious issues, is what it says here, with Boeing. Boeing was having serious issues. So Tom was playing the blame game. And there's recordings of this. If you watch The Housewife and the Hustler on Hulu, you can hear some of these victims talking about this. When they're calling Tom, they have the recorded calls where they call Tom and they're like, where's my money? And he's making up these lies and these stories, trying to steer people away from them knowing that he's the one that's involved with stealing their money. Now, Erika filed for divorce from Tom in November 2020 after 21 years of marriage as the racketeering and embezzlement allegations were rising. Allegations included both a criminal and civil suit, the latter of which named Erika as well. Now, that's another red flag for me in the beginning when I was watching Housewives that told me that Erika knew a little bit of something. She may not have knew what he did, but I think her husband had tipped her off, because when all of these allegations were coming out and the news was talking about all this, Erika on the show, we see this happen on the show, files for divorce from Tom out of nowhere. And what's crazy is that a couple episodes before, they were in a great place. She was talking about how great their marriage was, how much she loved him. He's been treating her this way and this way and this way. And then an episode or two later, you're filing for divorce when all these allegations are coming out. Let's be real. Tom set you down one night. The lights were dim. He had some scotch. Erika, come here for a minute. Sit down. We need to have a talk. Things are about to hit the fan with me. Some shit's about to hit the fan that you don't really know about. I'm about to get in a lot of trouble. We need to file for divorce, or you're going to get drugged into this shit, and they're going to take all of our stuff. You know, from the get-go, Erika made herself look guilty. And I don't think things are over for her. I don't feel like Erika is completely off scotch-free yet. I think that there are more lawsuits coming for her down the road. I think if she's more involved than we know, potential charges, I think they would have went ahead and released charges against her now, like they did with Tom, if she were involved, because I'm sure they did an investigation and this indictment resulted in the investigation. But I do think they probably would have said something by now. However, we don't know. We don't know. They could have charges looming down the road for her if she did have knowledge of where this money was coming from, and the fact that $20 million was transferred into her personal business account. Erika maintains that she was unaware of Tom's criminal actions in regards to the victims of the 2018 plane crash, which resulted in disbarment by the California federal court. She has not been named in any federal lawsuits. Though a civil battle continues, it was recently concluded in one case that the plaintiffs suing Erika for aiding and abetting her estranged husband in alleged fraud failed to prove she had any knowledge of the alleged crimes, which Erika took as a hopeful sign. She said, 2 years now down the road, we're getting some really great rulings, and I'm grateful for that, she said during the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills panel in October at BravoCon, and more to go. So I'm in a much better place, and I'm grateful for that. Yes, there have been some lawsuits that have been thrown out for her, but these same lawsuits can be tried in different states, and there's still more lawsuits on top of that. So just because there's one that got thrown out or she was ruled in favor doesn't mean that these others are not. Now, I hope she didn't know. I hope she was just the stupid housewife that had no idea what her husband was doing, but I think she's smarter than that. I think she's smarter than that. Amid Tom's legal woes and divorce from Erika, he was diagnosed with dementia and late onset Alzheimer's disease in March 2021. That July, he was moved to a nursing facility with 24-hour care. The former attorney was placed under a temporary conservatorship managed by his younger brother in February 2021, which was made permanent this July. During a May appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Erika offered an update on Tom's health, telling Andy Cohen that his condition had not improved. She said, Tom lives in a memory care facility. Look, I can only say decline and further decline. It will not get better, she said, noting that Tom still often reaches out, though their phone calls only last about 5 seconds, she claims. Cohen then asked Erika how aware Tom is of his legal troubles, to which Erika responded, he thinks he's still practicing law. Some stuff I don't know what to believe Erika with. I'm not saying she's lying here, but you can't tell me that a lot of things that she said in the past, Tom has told her to say. He's an attorney. I don't think he's just got dementia so bad that he can't speak to her, and he's, these certain things, because they've lied so much and they make up so many different things to try and keep this certain narrative going. Now obviously he's in a memory care facility. There's been pictures of him there. Now whether he is got dementia and it's so bad that he doesn't know who he's talking to, I don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying that I don't trust everything Erika Jayne says. I think she has a mission here, and that is to get out of this marriage with Tom Girardi unscathed, with no debt, and to start her life over. I think that's what she wants to do. And I can't blame her there. But if you knew something, and we find out that you did, it's not going to look good. I mean, brands already don't want to work with her. Rihanna's Savage by Fenty brand dropped Erika. It's just not a good look for her. In October, Tom was moved to a restricted memory care unit at an assisted living facility as his health continues to deteriorate. In court documents obtained by People, Tom's court-appointed attorney, Rudy Cascio, indicated that the 83-year-old was moved to a facility due to a further decline in his memory function. And a lot of people have said, or articles have said, or Eric or whoever, that they want to use this defense that his memory was in decline. So if he did embezzle all this money, he didn't realize what he was doing. But how that can be debunked is that his criminal activity, his stealing from these victims, has been going on for over 30 years. Like, they've even alleged back to the early 90s, late 80s, he was defrauding and stealing money from people. And he got away with it for this long. So if it was his memory declining, you're saying that his memory was declining 30 plus years ago, and he practiced law successfully for these 30 plus years after? I'm not buying it. Listen, I'm not saying Tom doesn't have health problems, but it's very convenient that once the shit hits the fan, that now you want to say that you have dementia and that your memory's declining. And if it is, that's terrible. It sucks. But that doesn't take away from the fact of what he did. And, if he's been indicted, I'm sure he'll go to prison. If he does, I'm sure he'll have to be in like a medical unit, be somewhere where he can be watched and monitored. I don't think Tom would do this again. If something's medically going wrong with him, I don't think he would do it again. However, who knows? Is he on the decline medically? Is he not? Would he do it again? Would he? I don't know. What do you think about this story and Tom Girardi being indicted on these federal charges at 83 years old? Do you think they should take Tom to jail, or do you think they should just leave him in this medical care facility and not press any charges? What do you think about the indictment? Also, do you feel like Erika Jayne had involvement with this scheme? Or do you feel like the feds would have already issued an indictment on her by now? Do you think that she knew that her husband was up to something shady? Maybe she didn't know the details, but she had an idea that he was up to something shady. Or do you think she's completely innocent and was just a housewife spending money and not paying attention to what her husband did? I want to hear from you. Join the conversation by commenting below in the comment section. Don't forget, subscribe by hitting the subscribe button right below this video. Last but not least, hit the thumbs up button and like this video. When you do that, it's going to share this content throughout the YouTube community so more people like yourself can come over here and join us. I love you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.